Hello, Scrufftards. This is Scruffy at Scruffy Tales, and welcome back to the War Zone. And without further ado, Stålnacke, the true story of a forgotten Swedish war hero. Elizabethville, the Congo, 1961. The UN has a large contingent of soldiers holding the city. When Katangan rebels assaulted the city, the UN had no choice but to fight back. A significant force of Swedish soldiers are in the thick of the fight. A large Swedish unit takes part in the hard fighting, going building to building, street by street. In one firefight, the Swedes find themselves outgunned by a pair of armored vehicles supporting the rebels. Two Swedish soldiers are in a panic and shell-shocked, pinned by the guns of one of the armored vehicles, and they have no means of fighting back. They take cover as best they can, hoping to not get hit as a hail of bullets wash over their position. Out of nowhere, Sergeant Torsten Stålnacke arrived on the scene, armed with a Carl Gustav recoilless rifle. With bullets flying all around, Stålnacke took steady aim and pulled the trigger. The armored vehicle that was pinning the Swedes in place went up in smoke as the Carl Gustav did its intended work. With one armored car out of action, it was time for the second one that was firing non-stop at the Swedish platoon. Stålnacke reloaded his weapon and repositioned, despite being under heavy machine gun fire, intending to launch another devastating round upon the enemy. Stålnacke felt pain shoot through his bones and he fell over. Blood was pouring down his throat and he could not call out for help. Stålnacke quickly realized that his jaw had been hit, a bullet having shattered the bone and ripping flesh. Choking on his own tongue, Stålnacke cleared his mouth of pieces of bone and pulled his tongue out of the throat. He could breathe again. Stålnacke made it back to his two shell-shocked comrades. They were still frozen from panic, unable to move or think straight. Unable to speak, Stålnacke relied on kicks and pushes to get his two shell-shocked comrades moving and out of the danger zone. With Stålnacke ever pushing them on, the trio eventually managed to get out of the combat area and reach the rearward lines. Here, they were all loaded onto a truck that could take them to the local hospital. But as they approached the hospital, there was one slight problem. There was a firefight with the enemy ongoing around the hospital, making it extremely dangerous to drive up to the building. Stålnacke and his two comrades had no choice but to run for a couple of 100 meters through the combat zone before they could find cover inside of the hospital and get treatment. Stålnacke was taken into surgery and was operated on by a World War II veteran, an Italian surgeon by the name of Giuseppe Cipollot. For 2 hours, Cipollot operated on Stålnacke, whom besides having his jaw shattered and torn, had lost a significant amount of blood. When the operation was over, Stålnacke sat up and asked for a bowl of water. Stålnacke cleaned himself up and then walked over to a mirror and inspected his face. The Italian surgical team, who would later retell the story of how Stålnacke just went back to business as usual after the operation, could only look on in disbelief and awe. Cipollot would comment that he had served in the Navy and even at Tobruk during World War II, but he had never come across a soldier like Torsten Stålnacke. For his actions, Torsten Stålnacke was awarded the Vasa Medal, together with 9 others for their actions during the Congo Crisis. He was even nominated for the medal Valor during battle, but he was denied this honor since one criteria is in battle against enemies of the realm. In 2008, the Swedish Armed Forces, together with the government, created the medal Wounded in Combat. in silver to those who survived their injuries, in gold for those who would not, a broken sword surrounded by a laurel. In 2012, on the 29th of May, Torsten Stålnacke receives the honor of the Wounded in Combat, almost 50 years after his heroic actions in taking the fight to the enemy and saving the lives of 2 comrades in need of help. On the 4th of August 2012, he passed away in his home at the age of 78. Torsten Stålnacke served the UN in the Suez Canal 1956 to 1957, in the Congo in 1961, and on Cyprus between 1965 and 1968. Stålnacke literally translates into steel neck.